With the new Grubhub Guarantee, get your food delivered on time and at the lowest prices. Guarantee, or they'll make it right.
Give your kids the confidence boost of an excellent report card. Enroll now and save up to $50. Kumon.
I feel like it follows you around. No, of course, I know. Of course, I know.
Let's get a sound check.
Of course, I know.
Let's get a
Of
sound check.
course, I know.
Let's get a sound check.
Of course, I know. Of course, I know. Of course, I know. What the hell? That was like
Better?
my worst remix in the history of my life.
I don't know what's happening.
I can hear that echo in my thingy.
We'll figure it out. We always figure it out eventually. There is a little bit of a delay. We're gonna keep on.
Of course, I know. Why is it doing that?
Is that coming from you, Rhett? Is that coming from you, Rhett? Unbelievable. We have like some crazy weird feedback coming from this. What's up? Audio. Eric Anderson is saying the audio is good. But can you hear that?
Yeah, we're getting the kickback in our ear, but whatever.
I wonder why.
We've dealt with worse. Hey, does the board? Can the board sound? Do we sound okay, or do we sound annoying? Aside from our typical annoying.
Yeah, it's echoing, but I don't understand why. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's got some stupid ass echo.
I think I fixed it. I think I fixed the echo. Correct me if I'm wrong.
All
right, so here's how it works here in the basement. Things happen. All this equipment we've never been trained for 1 second on. We were like, hey, we're going to start a podcast. This is a true story. We bought the whiskey. We're like, hey, what else do we need? Some microphones, a board, a computer. Well, we work the whiskey like expert professionals. But all the technology.
In fact, I'd never had whiskey before, which is honestly
true.
got true. My first glass
And
of
I'd
whiskey was in
never
this
worked.
basement.
And I'd never worked a board before. So
I think the whiskey thing is slightly more fun in my favorite. I mean, plus you do great with the board, so I just drink the whiskey.
And I'm going to fix that camera angle here in a second. But I just wanted everyone to know, we really appreciate you guys suffering through our not knowing what the hell's going on with our equipment.
Closet shelf and rod just a fucking echo. That was driving me crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And it was my voice, so I apologize to all of you.
And the mics are hot. We'll fix that. We can fix all these things. We can fix everything. I mean, everything we got is fixable. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just I can play with all of these rods and sliders. Welcome to Thank God It's Tuesday. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricka. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It is Hey, one thing it still is Tuesday. That's the best news I got for everybody. It's good. It's a good news day.
I don't know what the hell to do with myself.
All right, so here, let's just start. We're going to wrap our arms around all of the unbelievable BS that's going on. E.O. Anderson, we started off with a little Redbreast Lustau, and we're switching to Bushmills Black Bush, which was kind of what got us here so many years ago.
It was definitely on the beginning menu.
It was definitely on the beginning menu, and I love it. It's delicious.
It's delicious.
The fun of it all is this. It would seem the football portion of our season is quickly coming to an end for a variety of reasons. One, it's hard. We'll push through what we expect out of this roster for another extended season. Now we have 17 games, so we're still 12 games to go. A lot can happen, and we're not going to close up shop. But I just thought, why don't we just start with the obvious? Like, only our team, the Washington football team, can have an investigation on its culture. The Washington football team gets investigated because Dan Snyder's a bad guy and he's been doing bad things and all the bad stuff that everyone kind of knew about, but we had to investigate it to find out exactly. And then instead of finding out exactly, they did this investigation on us, sealed it up, put it in a room somewhere. Dan Snyder still owns the team with his lovely wife Tanya running the show, apparently, on the side. And no one really pays any consequence. I mean, Larry Michaels gets, fired. A couple other people get fired. I mean, whatever. Dan Snyder's.
He's trying with ring girls in like UFC right now.
He's doing
Larry
just
Michaels
fine.
is doing what Larry Michaels always wanted to do.
Yes. But the collateral damage, as Rhett so aptly put it, from an investigation into us is only just beginning. And I have a smile on my face. Like, I got no issues with, the idea that, people say and do stupid things and there's a reckoning that's going to come with all of that. And that's just the day and age we live in. So while we've always said good things about John Gruden and, this is not the time to be like, well, I thought he was a good guy. He was always a good guy here and there. This isn't the time for that. He owned up to it. He resigned. Those were his words. He hit the send button. He's paying the price for his actions. But it's as a result of investigation on the Washington football team. That's like the ludicrous, hilarious thing about this whole thing. We don't know anything more in terms of Dan Snyder or what he was culpable for and all the bull crap that went on under his watchful eye. And now grenades are just exploding all over the league. The NFLPA announced today they are petitioning. They want it all released. And I don't know if they can or can't. I had a text from Harrison last night. Harrison Weinhold, who I hope is on the board tonight. I'm sure he will be. It was like 1:00 in the morning. He's like, "Hey, call me if you're still up."
Shit.
And I was like, "Oh God!" And I was like, literally like falling asleep. I'm midway through season 6 on The Sopranos. Everybody filled that hole in my resume. And I was on my way out, and I had kids were sleeping, and I was like, you know what? I don't think I can make this 1:15 a.m. call to Harrison when he said, Call me if you're still up. The jig is up. That was his text to me at 1:15 in the morning.
So,
I'm like, I don't know if I can do this right now.
There's so many options in that one sentence.
I know. I just said, hey man, I hope you're okay.
Are we talking about the football team? Dog?
Yeah, I just want everything
Where
to be okay
is Fred
for you.
Smoot right now? Is he safe?
Yeah, is Harrison and Fred are in safe locations? So, anyways, I got a hold of him like right away this morning. I'm like, dude, are you okay? He was like, absolutely. He was like, he basically like holed up in his basement with his computer, and he's like going through all the old emails from 15 years of BS that he.
I was going to say he may be one guy that could uncover. He might
be
the key.
He's
the missing link to the end of Dan Snyder.
He's told me
he wants to be
that he's gonna be a special guest on this show, and we're going to talk about his thoughts on the whole thing. And I mean, he's got some thoughts, as you
that
imagine.
will be a very exciting show.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Harrison
he
knows,
does not hold back.
No, he doesn't. And he's been around. He knows. And so, anyways,
he's seen some shit.
He's seen some shit, and he uses his name like that. My whole thing over the years, and everyone knows this, running a site like Hogs Haven has put me up close to a bunch of stories that never in a million years would I ever want to run on a site that I was just doing as a hobby. And Harrison has been seen some things up close. He's been one of those people that's had those stories. So when he's ready to talk, we're gonna put a mic on him and we're gonna have a fun night. But it's just okay. So I just want to separate, if I can. I feel bad for Ron Rivera and this current roster because of this. This is like our stuff. It's like having a family reunion of terribleness.
He knew when he took this job that changing the culture here, which I thought he did pretty damn quick in the locker room to a certain degree, to a great degree. In fact, to a great degree. He had no chance. This stuff. The wheels were in motion long before. This was.
Oh yeah.
This was not. But also, he couldn't possibly have understood the scope of how deep this iceberg goes under the water.
Oh yeah. No.
Oh God.
And so I feel bad, but so football.
Nor could we, man.
Nor could
Shit.
we. Because you don't want to believe that like people treat a thing that's beloved by a town and its fans, like the Redskins and the Washington football team have been and are, and trample it with terribleness the way that Dan Snyder has. Yeah. And to think that an investigation, the Wilkinson investigation and the feds, doing what they did and sealing it up and as Harrison put it,
that's bullshit.
It's bullshit. And Harrison called out Dan Snyder. He said, Dan Snyder's going to get saved because of his virtue signaling. So what did he goes on a rampage of hiring women and minorities and saying I'm a good. This organization is ahead of the curve and all of these things. He changed the name. All of these things he would never have ever done if he didn't think for 1 second that his ass was on the line in a major way.
He licked those sealed envelopes for the investigation.
Yes, he did.
Personally, and I don't give a shit. That's what it was. Whether it was his tongue or not, it might as well have been. Yeah. All these other people are going down because of the culture that he created, that he was in charge of, and everyone else's lives are being turned upside down, and he just sits there on his yacht with his shitty ass socks on, letting his wife run the show for shits and giggles.
And
I just can't. Is there any chance? Is there any chance?
I know this. I know what you're going to ask. Chance? So here's the problem with what is there any chance? ... We've been having the "is there any chance?" ... conversation now.
It's the first time I've said it.
I know. Okay.
I've just assumed that, but this is the first time.
I'm like totally jaded now. I don't think there is. I don't think there's any chance.
I agree.
And I hate that about where I'm at because I'm the guy who's like always hopeful. Always optimistic. Right. I know people are tired of it. Greg Martin's tired of it. AGH. Snyder's the only guy in history to be investigated, and he got more power from the investigators. It's true. It's true. The NFL is 32 guys. It's 32 billionaires. That's the NFL. The NFL is no one else. Like, that is who the NFL is. It's 32 rich guys. And all these other people, Rhett made the comment earlier, it's the cattle and the ranchers. You can always get more cattle, but the ranchers are running the show. And
we keep getting prodded.
And we're getting prodded like you wouldn't believe.
Listen, man.
And at the end of the day, it's telling because John Gruden is a prize bull.
Has any NFL owner ever given more puny little tiny middle fingers back to their fans? Has there ever been a guy that just blatantly was just...
Well, but I think, though, so is there any chance, ... The question is obviously,
yes.
could this hurt Dan
any
Snyder?
Chance that there was an email corroboration between anybody and this piece of trash?
I have bad news for everybody. And Washington Post in 2014 put out a story that I reread today called Dan Snyder Doesn't Do Email. It's a problem for us. It's a big problem for us. He was advised by lawyers a long time ago, or he just never was savvy enough, which I don't believe, because he ran a communications company.
I know, but why would he type?
I don't know, but he ran a communications company. He made his money on the .com bubble in the 90s. Like, he's not tech unsavvy.
Right.
So the reason why he doesn't do emails because he and his lawyers know that he's a bad dude and he can't be, everything's discoverable. Which we know full well. So that's the first thing. Bad news. I don't think there's emails out there right away that are going to do Dan Snyder, and unfortunately. But here's the thing, and this is another thing we've been saying for like 6 or 7 years. At some point, ... and that sentence is, at some point, the NFL has to be sick and tired of Dan Snyder and be like, dude, you freaking suck. You're killing us. You're absolutely killing us. You have to go.
There's a DEA investigation, and it has nothing to do with them. It's just we breed this.
It's
I'm sure at some level it does.
I know. It's crazy. Kevin Ewell said Snyder had a burner email. He definitely did. He totally had a burner email. Like, he literally is. He's a freaking supervillain, dude. He's not going to get caught in the traditional way. And yet, there's a federal investigation on our culture. There's a drug enforcement agency investigation on our handling of narcotics. We've been fined salary cap space. We've been destroyed.
Landover Vice. This is ridiculous.
It's unreal.
This is just who is this guy? He went to Woodward. You know what I said? All the damn wedgies and bullying he got, and everyone was wearing a Redskins jersey, and now he's like, it's an inside job. He's taking them down under. You guys have all heard it. What's going on, man? All
right. So Bruce Allen. The Bruce Allen
I don't even want to hear that name, and I can't believe we have to talk about him again. I knew we did.
I know.
The guy's a punter from Richmond in the late 70s who got drafted and was having too much fun not doing anything to go and join an NFL franchise, and his dad got mad and said, then you're going to coach.
Can we break down so let me ask you this, Kevin.
Please.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. the Bruce Allen, John Gruden thing. So again, we have a sealed federal investigation on our team and our culture, and John Gruden gets fired and resigns because his emails get out. So again, they were his emails. He owns up to it. I'm not saying it, John Gruden situation should have been. How the hell did John Gruden's emails be the only emails to be released in this entire investigation? Like, that's insane.
And listen,
and it's Bruce Allen, right?
We all heard what Gruden said, and whatever, that's a separate topic. But we heard what Gruden said, and we heard who it was to. Bruce. How is the first guy, the 5-man like email thread, the inventor of Hooters? Like, what are we doing here?
It's unbelievable.
The Hooters guy.
The Hooters guy.
The Hooters guy. Of all the shit.
Do you not
There's a fried
see
chicken
what we're
dude
doing
from
here?
Tampa. There's like a builder, and then of course, and when he's I don't like the rabbit hole. I don't want to do it.
No.
But part of me, I just can't help it.
But we're in it. We're in it now. So like we can ignore.
Why? That's what I was going to get
why would
to,
we?
Ted,
Why can't
was
we?
that we're underneath it. Like, as I don't want to go into the rabbit hole, it's because it's above me. And I
Yeah,
have to
we're
go up.
We've fallen through.
It's
I mean,
so
we're Alice in
gross.
Wonderland now, and I know people.
I love the guys in the field. I will continue to love the guys in the field.
And we'll
You will
talk about
never
it.
take that from me. But we have to talk about this.
We have to. We
I
have
hate
to.
it, and we talked about it. Do we want to? Do we have to? I know guys in the border torn. This shit sucks, fella. It sucks, but
It's our.
when
It's
you
our.
get your alert and you've clicked like I'm a Washington football team fan, it's like you're going to jail for drugs, misogyny. You have treated women worse than anyone as a franchise. You've treated racism worse than anyone
Yeah.
as a franchise. You've treated everyone
Well,
as poorly as
John
possible.
Gruden was sharing topless pictures of our cheerleaders, and I'm like, of course he was, because we were trading. We were taking pictures of our cheerleaders, naked videos of our cheerleaders. That whole investigation. That I don't know. I mean, I know people. Hopefully, people got that. John Gruden was emailing or sending pictures of our naked or topless cheerleaders, which was part of that whole investigation about what we were doing with our cheerleaders. I mean, it's just sickening. Sickening.
It is sickening, and if you really want to go get some naked pictures of topless people, go for it, man. It's a big internet.
It's a big internet.
There's a lot of stuff on that internet, but why personally? Why? I don't know, man.
So
it's
that's
so
terrible.
disturbing to have to explain this to your 11 and 8-year-old every
Exactly.
Sunday, and like we're not making fun of it. We're sitting here after a few drinks talking about whether or not we should have talked about this or not, knowing that what the hell, man. What's real is real. The truth is the truth. What are we going to ignore it and talk about what a great game it was on Sunday? We're going to get there. We're going to get to a point where we become more reasonable to embrace.
So Kevin,
I don't know when.
Go Hagen. Did I say it right?
I'm going to wait till you say it right.
All right.
Kev, I'm going to wait till he says it right.
All
You've
right.
heard my silence.
Hogan?
I say it
Hagen?
pre-production. We say it post-production. There is whiskey involved.
Yeah.
This is an Italian man only. I'm 60% Irish,
KG.
30% Sicilian. Listen,
Okay,
we're
so
going to let you do it.
he's
We're gonna let you do
gonna.
it.
I don't know if
Whatever it is, he's a great dude.
If Kevin, if you're willing to
I didn't see what he wrote.
well, he's saying that the Wilkinson investigation team has some links to the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, which is totally believable.
Sure.
I know the Bruce Allen thing is also very believable. And I want to
Everybody's
ask,
got links.
did Bruce Allen and John Gruden have bad blood from their time in Tampa Bay? And I only ask you because I ask you this. Everyone wanted to say when they won that Super Bowl, Bruce Allen was quick to take as much credit as he could possibly grab his arms around.
He's a punter from Richmond. Of
I
course
understand.
he is.
And everyone knew that John Gruden was. It was John Gruden and Tony Dungy who were responsible for that Super Bowl.
Hey,
100%.
Just real quick, Bruce's dad got that close. All right,
Yeah.
the undefeated season, Miami went down. The crazy punt field goal thing, and the premium, blah blah blah. He was that close. He was obsessed. He was an obsessive compulsive guy. Bruce wanted that to kind of like be the guy. Like that's what my dad wanted so bad. F him. He's a little turd with a freaking. He's not a football guy. He's a weasel.
He's a weasel.
He's just a little. He's a small man, and I'm not talking in stature. That's bullshit.
Gahegan.
That's
Gahegan.
bullshit. That's bullshit.
Kevin Gahegan. I got it. I'm not. Now I'll know it, and I'll be good about it. Kevin Gahegan. So, I totally buy the New York Times links to this, and And John Gruden is a national figure who has been on the knife's edge of not necessarily controversy, but on the knife's edge of like this like culture of the NFL. So this is my other thing about this whole situation is people have been so eager to attribute sophistication to a multi-billion-dollar industry because of the technology and the manner in which the NFL has advanced over specifically the last 10 or 15 years, and how they've kind of dominated, American business. But it's like it's a razor thin facade, right? I mean, they are. That's good. It's all good. All the whiskey's.
I almost Bruce Allened it. Sorry.
You almost Bruce Allened it. So people want to attribute sophistication to the NFL. And there is a level of that, but it's a thin level, right? This league has been and continues to be, in many cases, despite however many new age PR guys and marketing whizzes that come into the game, it's still run by a certain almost like a Neanderthal type of group of folks. I mean, these guys.
Gruden's quote on them.
On Gruden's quote on what? On Goodell. Oh yeah, on Goodell. Exactly. Oh yeah. I mean, these aren't sophisticated. I mean, some of them are, but when we're talking about people who, I mean, for the most part, beat each other up, concussion after concussion, for decades, and it's their game, and they should be in charge of it, and they should be in positions of leadership. You put the time in, that's what you get, and that's what football is, and I got no problem with it whatsoever. But the idea that everyone is clutching their pearls because they're learning that this is how these guys talk, that this is what these guys,
no.
it doesn't make it right. But it's like, are we really that surprised? Like, let's be honest, are we really that surprised? Someone said to me today, they're like, of all the people in the game right now, they said, I would put all my. This guy was like, if I have to put all my money on one guy who would never ever get caught up in something like this, they were like Bill Belichick, and I was like, yes, he would be the leading bet. But the fact that everyone would assume that it would never happen to Bill Belichick only means it probably could. It's just ludicrous that we are so surprised as a nation that our football heroes, or the people that are running a league, which is like a modern day gladiator, situation where people are literally beating the crap out of each other for our enjoyment, putting helmets on and running full. These are engineered monster human beings that are being set loose on each other, 11 on 11 for 60 minutes, and we love it. And we're like, oh my gosh, these people aren't as refined as we expected in 2020. Are you freaking kidding me? Like, that is the most nutso part about this whole thing. I mean, again, it doesn't make it right. But can we just all put aside our shock and our pearl clutching for just a second and be like, yeah, what do you expect? We're talking about
lots of fools are checking their browser history and old emails and making sure everyone's butt cheeks tightened up a tad clenchy. And look, man, it stinks. I don't.
It does stink.
All of it does. I mean. Tony Dungy deserves all the credit for that type of basic rule. I'm sorry. When you install culture that way, it's what it is.
It is what it is.
It's what it
is. And that is a classic example of it is what it is.
Yes, and he got to the point where they were like, we can't move forward with you anymore. Is that? Yes, Ray Williams. By the way, let me just the board tip this real quick. The greatest teammate in football and Ray Williams just nailed it. Yes, that is Johnny Black. That's my brother right there. Cheers, my man. I love the fact that old Ray's on there right now. And guess what? Ray wouldn't deal with any of that culture. That wasn't part of it.
No.
This was the reason why we're friends right now is because they have a tremendous football culture in Washington, D.C. in a locker room. It just didn't happen to be in Landover or, down on Minnesota Avenue. This was over on Michigan Avenue, fellas, and that's where we did it right. And that's why I'm done. Like, I don't know what has to happen. Isn't there one dude in D.C. who wants to step up and just put him in a bit of a sleeper hold? Not hurt him. Just scare him. I don't know. I don't know what we need, but we don't need him anymore. I know that. And good Lord, Ken.
We lost people for a second, but now it's back.
It froze.
We're good.
Good. I hope no one's listening to me going a diatribe here, but I didn't really have an end result besides what we all know the end result is. This is the first week I've had to ask myself, can we? Because I've always said to you, there's plenty of places in the back of this brain where I can hide some stuff and not worry about it for a second. I don't know if I can do it anymore with this cat, man. Dreamed. He's like the evil Gru. I don't know what to do, man. Is it?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, the Bruce part's buffering. Because Bruce Allen's invented how to freeze any damn content in the area. When everyone's talking shit about him.
We're back. Kevin Newell says we're back.
We're back.
So,
it's because Bruce is pet. They call him Bruce. If I say that name one more time, I thought I'd never say it. Oh, God.
What's wrong?
Ben Gruden wished he had your IT guy.
Yeah, I'm the IT guy. It's a rough night on the IT.
If you're the IT guy, Rhett, can you make up some shit? Pretend you're damn Snyder. Damn Snyder just came out, and I think that'll be coming out for the future. That was fun. It keeps buffering. I don't know. Maybe just Bruce Allen it. You just, when they're not looking, punch them directly in the ass.
I don't know what's going on. It doesn't usually go down like this. I know we're back, but I mean. Can you hold on here for a second? I know this is going to be annoying. We won't do this but when you touch the screen
I tell you one thing. I need to get off the show and just listen to the board. This is such a good group. I really appreciate it. Rhett, by the way,
we have
I think we got it. The double hands down the front of the pants is going to be the reason why we're getting back.
All right, so we have a backup here, and we will get to the bottom of this issue because we're not even getting good reception down here, which is an issue. But there is a storm in the area, so that could also be, and it is a PC load letter.
Well, we got a lightning rod brewing.
Let's use the time we have left, and let's not talk about Dan Snyder and BS anymore.
I agree. Don't smell that. Let's go.
Let's talk about the terribleness on the field. And listen, my quote was never before has an offense achieved so much in so little time. I mean, our defense actually kind of did well this week, but
I agree.
But
they're starting to come along, right?
They're coming along, but
Jameis Winston. Oh, it's starting to come along minus the Hail Mary, motherfucker.
Well, but here's the thing. So we have this history of terribleness in our front office and in all this crap that we spent the first half of the show talking about. And all that has shown up on Sundays in a variety of ways. One of the ways it's shown up in the past is this crazy, terrible thing where we give up points with no time left in the first half. It's happened a bunch of times. Samari Rolle, Pete Kendall fumbling, I believe it was to the Rams.
Pete Kendall, dude, Jesus.
And now the Jameis Winston Hail Mary. I mean, these points at the end of a half.
The Jameis Winston Hail Mary. Never say that again in my presence.
I will.
That just gave me that made me sick to my life. That's what happened.
It was terrible. And also it was the easiest Hail Mary completion in the history of Hail Marys. In fact, it was just a straight up completion. I mean, I don't even think there wasn't even it didn't even require praying for that ball to be completed.
West Deer Park, 1982, 10 kids. A game of 500 broke out. The biggest kid in the neighborhood usually gets it. No, this was the average dude. This was all the big kids were on vacation.
No one even jumped. Watch that play again.
There was three dudes on their side that could have caught it. Technically,
yes,
they had a chance, and not one. Cam Curl was trying to knock guys off their route on the way up the field.
Because they're not going to call pass interference on that.
Because he was caught in the wrong defense. Cam Curl is a stud. Who I think understands football at a very high level. And if you watch that play, I want you guys to actually don't rewatch it. But if it ever comes back up, watch what Cam Curl's doing. He knew he was out of position. He knew he was. They say if you're a safety, don't deeper than the deepest guy. Whether he was up front or not, he was trying to knock guys off their route and do anything he could as it was going down. It was the most fruitless, helpless. It was like the varsity came down and was playing the 5th and 6th graders and threw a Hail Mary. And really, they weren't even trying, dude.
And
how
that
do
was
we not know? How does Landon
a
Collins
huge
expose
play.
it?
A huge play, as it turns out, a huge play, right?
As it turns out, they had a 75-yard bomb and a Hail Mary. It's the only reason we freaking lost. It's the only reason Jameis Winston had any passing numbers. Good God, that's 150 yards right there.
Our rushing defense is, I believe, top 5 in the league at 86 yards a game. Our passing defense, I believe, is first or second worst in the league. It's unbelievable because we've been here so many times before where we watch our defense just get obliterated and our offense is just not good enough to keep up with what our defense gives up.
It's not. And
that seems to be the case again.
But the defensive shit is bullshit to me because I can't figure it out in my brain because you guys have heard me. I'm not a complete optimist at all times, but what the fuck are we doing, man? Why does Jameis Winston and Matt Ryan, like, I understand they're going to make plays, and these guys are more so Matt Ryan. Jameis Winston, dude, come on, man. Come on. I can't stomach it. I can't, like.
And we were getting
it's
to
the same cats, dude. It's the same guys. Like, I'm sorry, but I thought we were on the right direction of that. And you guys know I've said this a million times. Like, it's got to just drive everyone freaking batshit crazy to watch the same shit happen over and over.
Year after year.
Same dudes from last year that were playing at such a high level, flying around, making defense fun again around here. It was so cool to be on defense. And now what's this bullshit?
And they score so fast, and it takes us.
They gash us. They run up our ass. But there's guys making individual plays. It just doesn't work in a 4-down scenario, a 3-down scenario.
No.
One individual play doesn't work. Yeah.
And we can't score as quickly as our opponents can. And part of that is we're not there. You know, and again, I don't want to be anti-Taylor or Heineke or anything like that. It's not his fault. But
he played like shit this week, and I love the guy. He played like shit.
His numbers against the better defenses that we face now you're starting to see a trend against the better defenses. He's not gonna get off against the other 3 defenses. He's got 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns and five picks, but he's effective as a backup who has to start for you for an extended period of time. But he hasn't shown yet that he can be a guy who can be the reason why you can overcome, a top defense. So
here's what I think. I think he has the talent to be that guy.
He does.
I think he's shown flashes of that.
I agree.
But that's all I've ever said about him. He is in his
Let me ask you
sixth start coming. I'm just saying this. I do believe he has. I don't know if it'll be here. I don't think it will be here, to be fair. I think he'll always be that guy here, but I think somewhere, and maybe here, he will start a lot of football games over the next 6 to 7 years.
Okay.
I do believe that. I'm not saying he's a Super Bowl winner. He's not.
He can play in the league.
He's how about this? I think he's more talented than a perennial backup. I think he's less talented than a top 12 badass. Well, I think he's somewhere, and it's going to either be that 13th guy or fall off, and everyone will laugh at me. But that's where I have him. And to be fair, this offense right now is not. He's made a ton of mistakes, but a lot of the stuff that we've done has been because he's played his ass off, too.
Correct.
Let the high tide raise all ships. And if this guy's going to be the low tide, we're going to stink.
Terry. He's not connecting with Terry the way I've...
This week. And Terry didn't want that because Latimer is his guy and his rival. But listen, that was tit for tat as far as I'm concerned. Terry tore him up early, and no one talked about it.
Yep.
And he made some good plays on some throws that were... Where Terry usually catches them, which is on the money with arms extended, these were right at the face mask, which allowed the defense to get there or even behind.
And Lattimore is he's an above average elite defender.
And of course he is. And of course Terry was feeling that every time the pass got broken up. And of course the whole fan base was too, because if we don't extend him in the offseason for $80 bazillion, Dan Snyder's yacht, and anything else that he ever owned, are you kidding me? He's one of the best football players we've had in a long, long ass time, and I love his ass. Heineke and him have been such a good combination this past week, and they weren't. How about this? Taylor had a shitty game this week. 2 boneheaded decisions, and just terrible decisions. That's what you can't have. I also believe that can be learned and overcome. Him and Terry are always going to be a great connection, just not last week. We are microcosming his 6 starts, I think. 5 starts?
Yep.
What is it? 6. We're 2 and 3. He had one in the playoffs.
last year, yes. This would be a 7th start.
I'll give T credit here. I got a little too excited about him having the first 3 starts throwing them for the most yards of any quarterback in the first 3 starts of NFL history. I get it. I think he's a talented cat. I think he could be a sort of like a creepy special dude. I don't know if it's here. I don't know where it is.
Well, there's 32 teams. There's not 32 great quarterbacks in the league.
No, that's true.
So, and he's a guy who can play in this league. And I feel terrible that people are watching like a standard def version of us. I don't know what the problem is tonight. It's an issue.
Hey, if you're looking at a standard def version of Ken and I think we look.
Yeah, you're probably doing.
You guys are missing a really handsome night.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, Rhett just gave us a shape up.
We got no likes tonight, and that's you know what that's the thing that I respect the most about what's happening tonight. Taylor Heineke is not the villain, for this team. The defense continues
he's tough as balls.
Here's the problem for Taylor Heineke. We have Kansas City coming up. We got the Packers coming up. We still got to play Dallas twice. They look pretty good.
Yeah, that's bullshit too.
The Denver,
they do look pretty good, and that's what's bullshit.
This New Orleans game was a win we probably had to have.
We're better than them. We were better than them. It was one of those frustrating. We all dealt with a million of them, but that's what hurts this year. So the one thing that I understood and remembered from last year is remember this feeling right about now last year. I'm not saying it's going to get better. I'm not. The schedule, it's tough. Pat Mahomes coming into town. You don't want to make these statements, but we're going to get better. I'm not saying we're going to get more wins. We're going to get better. Ron Rivera doesn't run a bullshit program. I've backed him from day one. I thought the leap would happen this year, this freaking year, and it's killing me. It's really killing me.
So here's
because I don't understand this shit. Why?
So where I
defensively
disagree with the Redskins fans that I have arguments with, or not arguments with, just like debates with, and that is that I never was willing to call like this year like the year of any sort. Like I thought that we could make the playoffs this year, but I don't think that makes us like
that's all I said.
Yeah, just make the playoffs this year
for real instead of like when the league falls down and we step up. Like, for real, I thought we could make it.
Yeah,
but not advance.
So, the truth of the matter is, whenever we've done well on the course of a season in terms of like making the playoffs, it's always been on the strength of the second half of the season. So like no matter what happens in the first half of the season, like we're going to lament games like this. If anything's going to happen for us, it was never going to happen in the first 6 or 7 games because it never does.
I can stomach Herbert. I can't stomach Winston.
Yeah. So, but beyond that, like we're still a super young team. We're still a super fast team. We still have young guys signed for multiple seasons, and we haven't fully meaningfully addressed the quarterback position in a way that you would expect.
Yeah.
My biggest problem is that if you want to bring a guy in, a top-notch free agent quarterback in, like he has to want to come here. And the Matt Staffords of the world weren't going to want to come here, nor should they have, when a place like the Rams was open. But you put enough good, young, fast players on both sides of the ball, then you're going to get a quarterback who can. If the quarterback's good enough, he's going to say to himself, "I'm good enough to make this team a winner." And I still think that we're kind of on that track. I mean, I don't know how many games we can ultimately win this season, but I can tell you that I think that we have enough talent where if a quarterback is worth his salt. Now, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is that guy or I don't know what people were going to.
Well, he was, but now he's all pedophilia and weird looking.
He's stealing
That
carburetors.
word that's terrible. I didn't mean that way, but
yeah,
that's some stringy hair, dude. It looks all greasy and gross.
I know,
it's creeping me out a little bit.
Either we're going to be in position to draft a guy, or we're going to, try our hardest to recruit a guy to come play here. I still think we're in position to potentially do that. And man, it's going to be it's going to be a tough stretch, though. But here's the thing: we always said that the only way we make a step from last year to this year, because remember, we were a losing team last year. Yeah, we made the playoffs. Yeah, we won a shitty division, but we were a losing team.
EO just reminded us 2-7.
We were 2-7.
We had a terrible record for like forever.
We were 3-6. When we won the East and with RG3.
It was an awesome like Halloween Thanksgiving and Christmas time. That was cool.
So all that said, we still have the ability to do this. In order to go from being a losing team with a losing record to making a step up, like, you got to beat a good team. Like, that opportunity came with the Chargers, maybe, but other than that, really, those opportunities are still in front of us,
especially in conference,
Chiefs,
division,
Buccaneers, Packers,
in conference,
Yeah, all I'm saying is
both.
We have teams that we can jump up and bite in the ass still, and those wins aren't so crazy to believe are possible. Honestly, I mean,
I agree.
And if we can hang our hat on some of those wins, then that's how you believe in a rebuild with what Rivera's doing. And I still think those possibilities are still real. And at 2-3, like, obviously 3-2 is a big difference than 2-3, but
that's NFL 2021.
Yeah.
Because I'm just saying, at my house, my wife's like, but I played fantasy, and 2 weeks ago, so-and-so beat so-and-so by so-and-so. And this week, so-and-so. It's crazy. Just wait till you see what happens. Just wait. Like, you're trying to tell. And that's what I feel like I'm trying to explain to my son and myself.
Yeah.
Just take it easy. I'm sorry, but this past loss, that was a. We're not a fan base prepared to take a loss at home that we should have won right now on this come up that we're all pretty proud about with Jameis Winston as the starter. That was devastating.
Yeah.
And with the Hail Mary and the 75-yard bomb that they had in their back pocket all week long, waiting for Landon Collins to creep up to the line of scrimmage. And listen, give Landon Collins all the shit you want, go right ahead. But that specific play, he was put in a bad position, a position he couldn't succeed. I don't care if he turned and ran at the snap of the ball. He's not faster than that dude over 70 yards. That's a bad place for Landon Collins to be. Jack Del Rio, you were dominant last year. You were a badass. You've had years that you've been top 5 year in, year out. This guy's a proven commodity. He was a head coach because of it. It's time for you to earn your keep here in year 2 with this defense. Don't just come out and show pony us around as rookies and then watch us get clobbered sophomore slump style.
That's right.
Come on, man.
All right, so we got a big tall order this week. We have a team on a short week, but a team kind of on a short week, I guess you could say. A team that is comes in with a lot of headlines and fanfare in terms of when you play them. Big names, big games, but Kansas City's defense is gettable, and their offense. Listen, I mean, let's just be real for a second. If we can score on their defense, I mean, we've been scored on by everybody. So is Kansas City gonna be any different? I mean, no. Like, if they're gonna get they're gonna get what everyone else has gotten at best. So if we can dampen that down just a tiny bit, that's good. That's good news for us because their defense is absolutely gettable. Hard pressed to call this win. I believe the line started at 6. If you're a gambler and you see Washington getting 6 points from Kansas City, you're putting like the deed to your house on the Chiefs. I think that number's already gone up, Brett. Probably 7 or 8 now. 7.5. Something.
What's
like
that over under, boys?
Well, the over under is I don't think that's moving.
It's got to be huge.
It's got to be 50. I mean, 49 and a half, 50.
I haven't looked, but I know. We all know it.
Yeah, we're going to score.
Pat Mahomes does.
We're going to get our 5 points. But how much are we going to give up?
I think we could get. I think this is one of those. Unfortunately,
55. It's 55. The over/under is 55.
Was that for Kansas City or for the entire game? Because I think we can put 30 points up this week. I think they can put 50 up. Now, here's the deal, though. I sound like an ass. I'm not trying to be negative, but Pat Mahomes has been doing a lot of this on his own. He's been taking hits, and Kelsey took a big one. Listen, they're the physicality that Buffalo brought last week, they brought to our asses too. So we're not guessing here. Pat Mahomes is going to scramble around and make plays happen. We know that.
Yep.
He also scrambles around. He's doing his no-look thing and floating left and right. And we have a couple guys that can punish Pat Mahomes, who's not playing on an offense that's clicking quite the way it has in previous seasons. It's going to be a 50-30 scenario, but there's 10 points here or there. And if they are here or there, we might have a game. We're not supposed to win this game, guys, but if we do, that means a lot of shit changed. That means things that we've been looking at for the last month went differently. And I've always been able to, hope for that up until 59 Eastern Standard.
Yep.
Since I was born.
Understood. I'll be tuned in. I'll be watching. I'm a glutton for punishment. I always have been. This Sunday will be no different. I'm not going to make anyone predict scores this week. That was what I came into the show.
I'm the worst gambler on the show.
It's not happening.
Not physically, just on the show.
I think
I'm not a gambler.
So the title of the show and the title of the Hogs Haven Post is "The Uphill Climb Begins." I mean, this is the part of the season where we just look straight up at the summit, and it's like that's not happening. And then like just randomly, weirdly, like we get to a point where we're like, "What? This could effing happen." Like I don't know why or how. We have no reason to be here where we are right now. So I do think that we're at the point of our season, and we know this very well. We've lived it a million times before. And we know exactly how this movie goes. We know exactly where this show arc is going. We know what the characters are going to say. We know who's going to get whacked in this episode. I've been watching a lot of Sopranos.
So flip the script, Del Rio.
Yeah. So a win or a loss this week doesn't change much in terms of what we think about our season, right? Because obviously, if we beat a team like the Chiefs, that shows that we're improving. If we lose to a team like the Chiefs, we have bullets that we need to use in other parts of the season. We still need to get 5 or 6 wins before week 13. That's the goal. That remains the goal, and that's not an unachievable goal. So
I don't mind that role too.
Yeah.
I don't mind that like late season creeper role,
Yeah.
keeping us all involved, making us all get to hang out because this is the best board of all time. And listen, we're going to do it anyways, but why not make it a little more exciting for the holidays? Remember we said, let's just make this shit matter by Thanksgiving.
A good Thanksgiving to Christmas season, and
Yes.
that's what we have been very successful at
man.
that. So, all right. So we're going to be back again next Tuesday night, hopefully talking about some things that indicate that some people in our front office, on our sidelines, and in the locker room are starting to get it. Some things that are going our way. We'll see. If we can be a spoiler to the Chiefs and Andy Reid. I would absolutely love to beat Andy Reid.
Why? Because he's open-handed. Bitch slapped us for about 150,000
in every possible way,
but while not being a prick, which kind of makes it worse.
It does kind of make it a little teeny tiny bit worse.
You're so classy while you whip my ass. Thank you. I hate you.
Oh wait,
have another.
And we got a birthday to celebrate on Sunday. Greg Martin, happy birthday, sir.
Hell yeah, Greg. Hold on. Is it belated or are we?
No, he says it's his birthday is on Sunday.
All right. Well, you know what?
We'll raise one for you there. And we have a gender reveal on coming up for
Go ahead, just do it.
A First Amendment sports.
Just do it. Just look right into there when you do it.
Kevin identifies.
It's a boy.
Kevin identifies as a male. No, we don't know. We don't know.
I thought it was gonna be a grandbaby W.
No, we don't know yet. It's coming up. They're opening the envelope. It's a whole thing.
The envelope.
Yeah, I know. I say every word wrong, but I know it's Gahagan. Damn it!
I mean, Jesus. It was delivered to you.
It was
on encyclopedia.
Gahagan.
Never mind.
It's Gahagan, right?
Did you see the H-A?
Gahagan.
H-E.
No, it said H-E.
H-A-Y? H-E?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make
Gahagan.
sure you get it.
It's Gahagan.
I'll tell you that the only guy on here is a better bartender than I am. Just say it. But not to me tonight. But Kev.
It's not. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys. Listen, we hope to have T back next week or in coming weeks.
T's back.
He is not going to miss out on this ride. We missed him tonight. T, we miss you.
And let me just do this real quick.
Yep.
T, Heineke didn't. You were right last week, but that happens. And you know what? It's not just this. It's this, and we'll figure it out. We'll keep going at it. I know T's a big fan of his toughness and his moxie, and I get it. T loves that big old burly man who can throw it 1,000 yards, Uncle Rico style, and I get that too.
I also think
because I'd like to have one of those guys like Justin Herbert. Just not more than Chase.
How about this as a closing? How about this as a closing thought? Mm-hmm. The list of quarterbacks that we've had to suffer through as Redskins fans of the last 20 years
is this the closing thought you really wanted to?
Yes, it is.
Okay, good.
Taylor Heineke sits so far above that list. He is so much more fun to watch. He's so much more fun to hope for. He's so much more fun to believe in because he had. I don't know what it is about him. All those guys that we've had over the years that were just shit that we were forced to that were just force fed. That we knew going in games there's no way we can do it with this guy.
John Beck, Shanahan spoke of him with such confidence.
Oh God,
he created.
I'll take Taylor Heineke over all those guys.
Me too.
I'll just so
I just kind of get this feeling, like yes, he's got to play more, but he's got this talent to him. He's got this thing, this fire, this something.
He can play football.
He's got some balls.
He can play football.
He's got some balls.
Yep.
He's got some moxie. This NFL is for him, is what I'm saying.
Just
10 years ago, he'd have been doing whatever he would have been doing.
Everybody that we love.
But he's got some.
On this team. Taylor, do me a favor. Yeah. Do not, just if you have an @Redskins email address, just don't even use that. Just go straight to Hotmail or Earthlink or Arrows or whatever.
No.
Whatever you got going. ODU.edu.
I will say this.
Don't be on there. Don't be on their server.
Since day one of this show, I have said the most important position in sports is the quarterback position in the NFL. And I want a guy. Not a guy that we find, not a guy that we hope for. I want a guy. I want the guy. I want a dude that we can build a freaking franchise around. And that's my preference. That doesn't mean I know what's right and wrong.
Yep.
That's what I want as a fan, not as an analyst. I want a stud stallion. I want what Buffalo has. That's what I want.
Yeah, so do I.
And then maybe we can keep Stephon Diggs in town. So what I'm saying is that's what I want. But I also think Taylor Heineke has got a ton of talent for this league.
He's not going anywhere.
Minus the supreme arm strength. He's got that quick
Geno
release. He's got enough arm strength.
Geno Smith is going to be starting in Seattle for a month and a half at minimum. As long there's just Davis Mills is starting games in Houston. There's no shortage of spots for guys like Taylor Heineke. He's going to get paid. He's going to be a professional quarterback for years to come, as long as he's healthy.
I believe he'll start like Tyrod Taylor. The amount of starts Tyrod Taylor's had over the last 6-7 years is how I feel about Taylor Heineke.
Jacoby
I just don't
Brissett.
know where, because guys like that tend to not get that long-term deal, obviously.
Sure.
But when quarterbacks are getting paid $45 billion a year, that $6 million guy.
And all those guys we just talked about, there's someone backing them up. You're talking about Kyle. There's a whole Kyle Allen level of quarterbacks in this league that you.
But Ken, that's what we're at right now. We're at a Kyle Allen level.
I know we are.
Because Kyle Allen has always been in the last Rivera era, the starter or the next guy out.
I know.
So that's exactly what we're in.
We are in
Kyle
that era.
Allen era.
Yes.
That's the perfect way to describe our quarterback scenario right now. It
Yes.
is. It just is. Especially when over the weekend when we saw freaking, oh my God. I mean, did you see all the guys in the 3-man commercial? And our ex-quarterback from like a year and a half ago is wearing a Kansas City Chiefs shirt.
You know what?
Chips. And I was like, hey, no, he made his bones there. I get it. No, I get that. But that recency bias is all that we've dealt with for the last 15 years.
Yes.
And that was the first time I've seen an unrecency bias based on our little teeny tiny fingered piece of crap yacht owner with those socks. Now, if his wife can do a better job, which she can, I'm just done, man. All right, please take us to where we need to go.
He's Kevin Ricka.
Yes, and I'm sorry for overdoing it, but those are teeny tiny fingers.
And socks.
And
little
they're
socks.
tad wet from the yacht.
They're a little tad
so he
bumpy,
hangs those little teeny tiny socks from or someone does. That's a terrible job. Hang the teeny tiny socks from the yacht clothespin.
That sounds like a Kevin Ewald job. KG, we are going to get that guy this offseason. That much I promise you. It is happening. We will be back next week. I want to say a special thank you to Rhett, who has saved our show tonight. For whatever reason,
How?
we were
That's unbelievable.
we overcame
the switchboard.
every possible issue that we've probably ever had all in one show.
It's like ding dong device nut, ding dong device nut. Like you can't even imagine the whirlwind of
Pretty crazy.
those.
Well, we did it.
phalanges.
We
Those
managed
phalanges are flying
to
red.
talk about the Redskins / Washington football team for an entire Tuesday night. We appreciate you guys for being with us tonight. Thank you so much for your subscription. It is our pleasure.
Ain't no one
Thank
better,
you so much
brother.
for liking whatever noncess we're talking about. We're going to be back next Tuesday night on Thank God It's Tuesday. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangola. See you next week. We are still live.
Get off my emails, Bruce. Don't even sniff them.
Hit that X.
By the way, bartenders don't have a ton of emails, so I think I'm good. But you, on the other